Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of August 13th through the 19th of 2023. It is a new moon in Leo week that is happening midweek, but the big talk of the town right now is that Sunday, August 13th, that's just a couple of days from now when I'm recording this, the Venus and the Sun are going to be canoodling or conjunct, and it's marking this halfway point for us of the Venus retrograde. Now, conjunctions are considered hard aspects. That's one thing I want to just kind of walk through for a second with you guys. And planets that are conjunct are unified. That means they become one. And part of the reason that a conjunction is often considered difficult is because these planets don't always know which role they're playing, right? Because remember, in astrology, the planets represent the character of the play, and then the sign is the clothing and the expression that this character is playing and how it expresses itself. And so when it's in the sign of Leo, right, we're flamboyant, we like to be in the spotlight, we lead with our heart, we're loyal, we take pride in the way we look, we take pride in the things we do, things like that. Now with Venus and the Sun, yes, these are both benefic planets or luminary with the Sun, and so it can have this wonderful romantic feeling to it. It can have this idea that our conversations, our moods, our experiences have this pleasurable feeling to it, and that's wonderful. And so that's the benefit of it. Now, how is a conjunction difficult? It could be that we're feeling a little less genuine than we actually want to be. Maybe we're hiding because remember, Venus is retrograde, so it's more internal, and we often do a lot of the opposite of the planet when it's direct. So when it's in retrograde motion. So instead of letting ourselves be carefree and out there and feeling really sassy and connecting and stuff, we might be more introverted. We might let our ego run the show and tell us, you know, especially with Mercury and Virgo right now, tell us our critical thing of like, maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I need to make some major change here, you know, to boost my charisma or things like that. And right now, as a reminder, when Venus is retrograde, we don't want to do permanent, beautiful things, you know, plastic surgery, tattooing, things like that. But we can try some things out, right? I mean, your hair will grow out if you decide to cut it. If you want to color it, do like a, what do they call it? The demi glaze or whatever. You don't want anything permanent that you're going to have to spend a lot of time and money later fixing. Okay. So those are just some silly examples, but the other benefit of this halfway point or this conjunction that's happening with the Sun and Venus is that romance is going to probably be on our mind. So if you're in a happy bonded relationship, there can be a time where you connect, you have more fun in a lighthearted way. But on the inside, remember we're talking about this retrograde inside, it could feel a little confusing, maybe by something the person says or does, right? So it's like, hey, I want to really connect with you, and have, you know, I want to tell you how much I love you, but their actions don't line up, or vice versa, right? So it might be a little confusing for what's happening inside, especially if we are in that state of mind where we're being critical on ourselves. I'm not lovable enough, you know? And so this is an opportunity to use the energy, especially leading into the new moon in Leo, which is on Wednesday, to find ways for having greater self-love, self-talk. You know, I went to a yoga class the other night, and it was just a very gentle yoga class for, it was one of my active rest days. But the yoga teacher pointed to the fact that when we're doing a pose, regardless of what it is, asking that question, why are we doing it? Are we challenging ourselves because our egos are taking over? Or are we being lazy? Or are we doing this because it's a way of having good love for ourselves? And so my intention for that yoga class was to have real love for my body, love for myself, especially as I continue to recover from knee surgery. And so I watched myself, and every choice I made, I asked, was this loving towards myself? And so I think that's really the invitation that I want to offer, especially this week, is finding deeper ways that we can love ourselves, and not in a narcissistic way. That's the shadow side, but in a way that just allows us to fully accept who we are as we are. Now, I mentioned those of you who are bonded. If you're single, it's possible you might feel a little sadness that you're not bonded with someone at this time. And that desire could feel overwhelming, and we could move into a place of longing or a place of victimhood. And this isn't just with romance. It might be that maybe we don't have the job we want or the income or whatever it might be. And so if we're in that state that we move into the woe is me, I'm the victim, we're not going to make a lot of progress. But I'm not criticizing that state of mind. What I will offer is, if that shows up for you, use it as a tool for setting new intentions with this new moon that's coming on Wednesday. Now, also, the beginning of the week could feel very social at this time with the Sun and Venus canoodling. And then Monday and Tuesday, Mars is moving into a trine with Uranus, setting us up for more of this energy of the new moon, because it's exact at the new moon. And we might have this strong desire for our independence, our freedom from the routines that we have. Our imaginations could be working on overdrive. It's a great time to promote our ideas, find new and unusual ways to promote or accomplish things, especially if maybe you're in sales. It's a great time to close deals. It's a great time to network. Maybe there's some things that you're wanting to sell as far as like personal items, right? This is a great time for you to close those deals, make a little extra income, right? I mentioned if you're feeling like your income isn't where you want it to be, this is a fertile time for you to be able to get some creativity going on how you could increase your income or change it in a way that feels really good. Now, it's easier also when Mars is trining with Uranus to take calculated risk. So again, leading with that heart. Remember, the North Node is in Aries, South Node in Libra. I'm going to keep reminding us of this because it is inviting us to stay liberated and to be independent while including others. So when you're taking these risks, like the North Node in Aries likes to take risks, or it's a challenge, but you do it in a way that you're not overthinking it. You're not getting into a place of going, well, I got to look at every option, every possibility. And then you get into that analysis paralysis, where you worry about what other people may think or need their approval, and nothing happens. So this is a time, again, another opportunity to really push to take that risk. Now, I mentioned the new moon in Leo a couple of times now. It's a new lunar cycle. Think about what our heart desires most for manifesting in the next 6 months. So it's setting us up for a 6-month lunar cycle in the sign of Leo. And then when the Aquarius full moon happens in February, March time, then we're going to be able to release or hopefully see the manifestation of these intentions. So I highly invite you to write it down, energize it, maybe put it on a vision board, something like that. Set these intentions and monitor them. Yes, we get a new moon every month. And so it sets up the new cycle every month at the same time. With this Leo new moon, it's really about, what does my heart desire? Because when we get to the new moon in Virgo, which I'll talk about next month, when we get to that new moon in Virgo, it's going to be, how may I serve? How may I be of benefit? Right? So this is a way, when we're looking at our intentions, what's our motivation for what we want? Why do we want to manifest this? Now, this new moon can also present new opportunities to engage with youth, with children. Maybe there's inner child work that needs to be done. It's a beautiful time for that. Consider relationships to all things, not just romance and partnership, but what's my relationship to money? What needs to be reset there? Or what's my relationship with food or my routine even, right? So it's really checking in with ourselves and saying, what is it that my heart desires and the relationship in which I have to whatever that desire is, and then work it from there. The moon will enter Virgo on Thursday after this new moon in Leo, and then it's going to make this brief opposition to Saturn, and it gives us time to really integrate, to digest these intentions that we're setting. We're not necessarily taking action during the new moon, but at least being able to think about it a little bit, feel into it, see if there's practical steps that need to be put in place. Thursday into Friday, we may sit down and go, okay, now that I put these intentions out there, these are the next steps I need to take. And I'm going to make a list and start manifesting. And maybe there's a conversation or two to start having. The moon is going to canoodle with Mercury and Mars in Virgo, which will be making a trine, the moon will, to Jupiter just briefly as it's transiting, and to Uranus. And so this is where come, Friday into the weekend, we're going to be looking for creative outlets. We're going to be looking to socialize and circulate our intentions, our ideas. We're going to want to take some action. There could be a ton of conversations and connections to something greater. We could get some really cool insights during this time, especially with Uranus involved. We could get these sudden ahas that we've needed in order to take the risk or to be inspired to take action, that sort of thing. I think the biggest thing that I want to offer to us throughout this week in particular is that if you are a high sensitive, then really pay attention to the ebbs and flows of the energy as it moves about. I really feel as though you're going to have some conversations with people from your past. There may be a past conversation that gets revisited this week that is going to be really potent. And this is in general, this isn't just for your high sensitives. I feel like a lot of people will. If you're paying attention to it, it's going to be significant as far as the theme that comes up and being able to hopefully find some closure or find some sense of peace around something that may have been, quote unquote, torturing you for a while. I also will offer that a few of you are going to be receiving some new job offers or interviews that are going to come up. So if you've been feeling like you're in a bit of a dry spell, then this is a really good week for you to manifest that next role for yourself. All right, you guys, I really hope that that this benefits you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com and just know that I'm here if you need me. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great week.